Hello, my beautiful fragrance family. Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification. I'm just going to keep on bringing you guys these budget-friendly fragrances. Use that 40-ish and $100 range. Most of these way less than that, and a good number of these you can find at your local rack stores. And I got about 50-50 here, rack stores and or online sales. And I got 5 fragrances that just bombard my brain now that we're coming in that fall season. Like, man, when can you reach for this one? When can you wear this one, right? Because there's some fragrances that, like me personally, I jones for and I want to wear them, and the only time I can wear them is like maybe out of the shower. Like, out of the shower is cool because that's kind of like my wild card. I can wear like whatever I want because I'm going to be inside. I can wear the darkest, richest oud thing on the planet or something super fresh. Just depends on what my mood is. But sometimes I want to wear these winter fragrances outside, in the sunlight, in public. Just bring that warm coziness with me somewhere and let it be appropriate. And the first one I'm going to name on this list is kind of a classic. It was hyped up a little bit for good reason, and it, for whatever reason, just keeps coming to my brain. And honestly, it's one of the best, in my personal opinion, in my collection. $20, like right at the $20 mark and under fragrances. If I made a top 10, this one would be on there. CK1 Shock. The opening is a little bit strange for what the fragrance is because it's got a touch of freshness. Lavender, cucumber, and clementine is the opening. You do get that tobacco and the sweetness, but it's got that freshness. After a couple minutes, the freshness starts to dissipate and you're left with more of the cardamom, tobacco, amber thing. And as it continues to dry down, some more stuff starts coming out. You'll start getting more patchouli. Like, there's patchouli right at the beginning too, but when it starts drying down, that patchouli comes out even stronger. There's things like basil in here. And when I wore this the first time, somebody told me I smelled like $1 million. The projection is decent on this. The sillage is decent on this. The overall longevity is 6 to 7 hours, which is decent. And it's $20. It's got an oriental feel. It's got a decent dose of tobacco in it, but it's not offensive. It's not like a Mancera's red tobacco or something like that. It's like a tobacco fragrance like Burberry London, where it's still crowd pleasing, but it has that tobacco. This one has more tobacco. This is more oriental feeling, more warm, spicy and stuff. I think this is excellent for $20, and I'm really looking forward to reaching for this thing. I got nothing that smells like it. Nothing. So that's another thing. I can't like scratch the itch with anything else. Up next, one that I kind of think gets overlooked in this line. Maison Alhambra has several of the Tom Fords, and I think some of the other ones, for whatever reason, outshine this one. I don't know why, because this is a great fragrance in and of itself. It's pretty close to the original. And that's Tobacco Touch. It's cloned on the Tobacco Vanille. The difference between this one and Tobacco Vanille, well, first of all, this is warm, sweet cinnamon vanilla, like a dry cinnamon with some lingering fruits going on in here. There's a little bit of fruity sweetness, but it's mostly like a cinnamon, dry, tobacco, warm, spicy. Yeah, it's got that Red Hots kind of feel, along with some tobacco. And Tobacco Vanille is, to me, not quite as spicy as this, but they did a pretty good job for $20 of cloning this. The performance isn't as good as I want it to be. It's a solid 5 hours, but something like this, I would rather, like this kind of DNA, I would rather it be like a 7+ hour fragrance, but it's not. That's the only thing that I have a problem with this one, is it doesn't project more than average or last longer than average. It's like average across the board as far as all that goes. But yeah, warm, sweet cinnamon, dry vanilla, and a touch of some dried fruits, giving it an extra dose of sweetness outside of the vanilla. So Tobacco Touch is definitely worthy of being on this list. I like wearing it. It's great for Christmas time. This is a Christmas time cinnamon stick kind of a fragrance. Up next, one that was a true hype beast when it came out, and still, to me, it is relevant today. I like this thing, and it lasts a long time. And I'm talking about Halloween Man X. This, as you can see, is a tester. Was that the part that said? Yeah. Tester. So, and the testers come with a cap, which is cool because I bought some fragrances without the cap and I'll never do it again because it is annoying. Good atomizer on this too. So as you can see, this is like a 4.2 ounce bottle and look how much juice I've used in it. If this was a 3.4, that would be like at least half of it. So this fragrance, it opens up. The way it opens up is it's got a spicy, sweet, bitter opening. It's bitter. It's got like a lemon thing going on in the opening. But aside from that, it has this sweet, dry roasted, boozy, gourmandy thing going on. You do get touches of that roasted coffee note that this thing is really, really known for. That's like one of the main things it's known for. I've never smelled Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo, like signature Uomo, and people say this smells like that. I've never smelled it. I don't know. I don't have any interest in buying it because it just never seems to drop below like the upper 40s. So I found this one for $27. I don't know what it is now. I think it might be like 30 or something. Regardless, it's still quite affordable. So it opens up bitter, right? Little like synthetic, harsh and stuff like that, but nice, still nice. I like the opening for what it is. And I remember the first time I wore this thing, it was like 10 or 15 minutes later, I was like, whoa, there's the coffee note that everybody was talking about. Because at first I could just kind of smell it and I was like, huh, that's pretty neat. That's pretty interesting. And then I started getting whiffs. I was at church and I was like, oh my goodness, this thing really is like a straight up coffee bean factory with some touches of sweetness and booze and a little patchouli, sweet amber going on, spicy, just gourmandy. Really, really, really surprised me for what it was. Some people say it doesn't last very long, and other people say they don't smell coffee in it. I don't know what you're smelling because there is 100% certainly coffee in this thing. It's actually a funny side story, and if you want to hear about the funny side story to like kind of almost prove that this thing has a coffee note in it, just ask me in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to share it with you. So yeah, definitely worthy of being on this list. Compliment big time. Women like this one too. Women really seem to like this fragrance a lot. Up next, one that really surprised me when I got it. Said to be kind of a tuxedo clone. In a way it is, but I think this leans way heavier on like the patchouli vanilla side of things. That's Afnan Tarathi Brown. Smooth, rich vanilla, amber patchouli with a dash of some of that smooth, soft, florally rose. This thing, man, this thing just does it. It's got some like ozonic and aquatic notes in this as well, along with all of that heavy richness, that smooth, sexy, creamy vanilla, a little bit of spice, patchouli, that damp, rich, earthy patchouli. This is a date night fragrance. This is a date waiting to happen. It's just a really, really sexy vanilla kind of fragrance. It's probably the sexiest one on this list. They're all really nice, but this one is way more suited for a date night because it's inviting, it's cozy, it's alluring. There's something almost mysterious about it. But if you like the tuxedo vein, if you like that kind of a fragrance, if you haven't smelled it, if you smelled Taxco or Suits or anything like that, this is similar, but it's to me a little bit heavier on the vanilla side, but not in a feminine way. More like Mercedes Club Black. Very vanilla forward heavy, but definitely masculine. This doesn't smell like that, but very vanilla patchouli forward, but masculine. So Afnan Tarathi Brown is one that I definitely had to put on this list. One of my favorite smelling fragrances in my whole collection. Up next, one of the OGs in my collection. One of ones that is almost like if you put a cheapie list together for summertime, for like the ultimate, like the 5 ultimate cheapies that have ever been made for the summer. Nautica Voyage is going to be on that thing. Rightfully so. I feel like this is one of those for like fall, winter, cheapies that are like $20 and less. This is another one that would make my top 10 list for just period $20 fragrances. I think this is like up there with like the Nautica Voyage for fall and winter. Cremo Spice and Black Vanilla. You just can't go wrong with this thing. Warm, sexy, spicy, almost juicy somehow, with tobacco, hints of powder, that nice, inviting vanilla. This fella right here, man, I mean, juice level don't lie. You know what I mean? There's just not that many opportunities in Florida to wear these cool fragrances. And there's that one, there's this one, you know, and I've sprayed the daylights out of these things. And typically, winter fragrances are longer and stronger and louder, so they require even less sprays. This one is not a beast. It's not bad, though. It's not bad. On me, I'm getting 5 hours, especially when it's like pretty cold. Not just here in Florida. I've wore other places too where it was legitimately cold, and this did pretty good. It did pretty good for 4 or 5 hours. It was slicing through, and I had my nice scent bubble that was kind of cozy and relaxing and stuff. So Spice and Black Vanilla by Cremo. Warm, sexy, spicy. It's got a bit of that tobacco thing going on there. It's mostly spicy vanilla. There's also, like I said, some powderiness, but tobacco. There is definitely a tobacco lingering thing going on in there, and somehow or another it's sparkly and juicy. I don't know how that happens, but to me, that might be just my nose, but that's one of the things that I really enjoy about the thing. And so that is my 5 fall fragrances that I'm just like jonesing to bust out for the daytime, just going out and doing my thing as my scent of the day. So if you agree with this list, let me know. If you think I'm crazy and you disagree, I don't have to give you permission, because you guys definitely let me know without me even asking. So yeah, with that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always, and until next time.